So now we have the GC1 through the little Elvis amp. The same settings as we had on the Dean, basically, which is the tone and the volume are both on 8. The master voltage on like 2.5, right?
2.5.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
ridiculous.
just because we're in a neighborhood. But but the sound doesn't really seem to change much. You get a little bit more speaker interaction when it's louder, but it's just really not really that. It's fairly subtle, right? But what you get with the Grelicaster is this incredible openness of sound, which you're even getting with the humbucker guitars, right? This amp is really an open sounding amp. The signal paths are pristine. So that is middle pickup. Neither of them are all the way up. Like 8 on either pickup. We're getting this wonderful open, chimey rhythm sound. It's actually quite huge. Starts to break up a little bit when you're hitting it harder. GC1 has phenomenal sustain on this thing, and they still sustain, and they don't have that kind of boinky banjo-y thing. Some cheaper Strats might have. Strats, I mean. Full on. That's without the bump. All that high-end detail is glorious. So with the bump. That mid-range, basically it's a mid-range boost because you're more or less bypassing the tone circuit. And what happens with this guitar is that you can still clean things up a bit just by playing lighter. So this is an amazing guitar through an amazing amp. We had this EQ setting on the last guitar, which was a humbucker guitar, and this guitar has plenty of highs. So we're going to dial back the high end on this thing just a bit, because we have all the highs we need, actually. And what's great about the tone control on this thing is that lots of times you'll have the tone control on an amp and you dial it back and the sound is duller. And my experience with this amp is that is not the case here. You are just changing the ratio. The high end does not go away. The ratio of the high end to the rest of the frequencies just changes. And I've never played an amp that did that, ever. Guitars don't do that either when you turn down the tone knobs, you know? So I think that's a really, really outstanding feature. I don't know how they do it, but I don't know much about that stuff, so that's not surprising. So you still have the same high end, it's just now you're hearing a little bit more of the mids and the lows. Complicated chords with lots of weird notes come out really nicely.